It's funny, the longer I've done improv, the more I come back to just the basics. Improv kindergarten is what I call it. You know, playing well with others, making your scene partner look good, saying yes and, but keeping things in the present.
And what I don't understand is how I could spend this much time thinking about my stomach. It has become my biggest tormentor, my most serious relationship. It has protruded through my clothes, my self-confidence, my ability to work. And I don't remember the next line after that.
Today I didn't even have to use my AK. I gotta say it was a good day.
Oh, you're a rapper.
That's right.
Life.
No way. This life. That's what I do outside of improv and work. I'm a hip-hop artist.
My improv journey began back in high school. I was a part of a performing arts program back in my junior and senior year of high school. And my junior year, one of the little segments of our acting curriculum was improv. And as soon as I got my first taste of it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I don't have to memorize lines. I can play any character. I can be silly and goofy and fun. I loved it immediately and actually started teaching it my junior year. So I've been teaching improv for, oh man, it's like over 20 years probably.
They asked me if I could memorize things and if I could do an accent, and yeah, and how comfortable I felt moaning on stage or potentially cursing. And those were like the questions that they had. So yeah.
Check.
I do okay accents depending on what the accent is. Not so comfortable moaning on stage, but I found my way around that and got to do the almost moan, so, which is just like basically not actually ever moaning, so it worked out.
Can you show me the almost moan?
Wait, that's it?
I took, a drama class in high school, I think my freshman year. And it was at that time that I was exposed to improv. Part of, the 101 drama class, they have you do some improvisational exercises and stuff, I think, to just warm the students up to playing and just getting out of their comfort zone and whatnot. So I just remember that was my favorite aspect of drama.
Me personally, I really enjoy justification games. I love, in short form, justification games are some of my favorites. And in scenes, I love trying to justify why there's a sandbox in the submarine. Like, I like trying to come up with, oh, that's because it's take your daughter to work day, and the submarine captain has to have something for his daughter to do while he's on the nuclear submarine. And, I love making sense of that. So I personally like people throwing curveballs at me, but not everyone does. So if I'm on a team that I know the people that I'm playing with, I know who likes curveballs, who likes weird stuff, who likes like trying to be surprised, and who's like, whoa, why did you do that to me?
It's opened up that vulnerable space for me. And typically, the only things that do that in my life are songwriting and relationships.
So I think most of the positive change comes from the dialogue that's able to come after you see something like that. I think it brings up issues that you don't normally like to bring up.
You're getting out there in front of people, in front of other people, and you're creating in a moment, especially with improv, you're creating something in a moment that came from you. So it's just constantly bringing me to that place of vulnerability, which sometimes is a little uncomfortable for me, which I know is what I need, which is why I'm doing this.
There's usually like a split second of where I think I hope I'm funny, I hope this is awesome, I hope the audience loves it, so on and so forth. But in reality, as soon as they get on stage and those lights hit and you see the people, like, the focus goes, instead of being on me, the focus changes to my teammate who's on stage with me right now, or what's going on in this scene that I'm not in the scene, I'm watching it, but like the attention is now outside of myself, and it gets rid of all of those worries.
I get to flex that side of myself that is very prevalent, like this goony, silly, kind of creative person that's in there.
And when someone is finally vulnerable with you and you can be vulnerable with them, it builds like a closeness and like the relationships that like everybody's looking for in their life. Like everybody wants to know that they have that support system of I can go to this person and I can be vulnerable. Otherwise we wouldn't still be hanging out with each other. I think we'd all just be sick of each other.
I was shining shoes and someone said that we were at a bowling alley, and I thought, oh my gosh, I was doing this. So obviously shining shoes. She said bowling alley, and I was like, oh. And then my hands were over top of a blower that's by the ball return. You know what I mean? There's always ways to figure out the reality of the scene.
And you're not used to doing this stuff in your life, you know? You're not used to just like, okay, talking like people, you know, like talk gibberish, and it's just like, what, you know? Okay. And then you do it, and it's just like, that's awesome, you know? I'm just doing something that people would think is super weird and silly, but it's whatever.
It shows those who haven't found it that it's possible, and potentially people make connections with people on the stage on a very, like, when you have a character that you just love so much, like for example in a book you might have a super strong connection to a character because you identify with them and the way in which the author expressed that vulnerability, like you can connect with. And I think that comes in the same space when it comes to being on a stage or in a movie or a TV show. It's really embarrassing, but Ted from How I Met Your Mother is someone that I just feel like I completely understand and relate to. So I think there are just aspects of that there's room for you to have vulnerability with those characters and understand that those situations can and will happen in your life.
Based off of how much fun is it to realize when I'm in a group how I participate or choose not to participate, how it affects the group, how it affects me, and what's standing in the way from letting me do that. Is it just my desire to protect myself and not jump? What happens if I jump? Well, in the right group, awesome stuff happens because immediately people start supporting your idea.
You know, I felt that I was surrounded by like my people, like you know, it's kind of odd. It's hard to really articulate to other people that don't understand for sure. But I felt like, oh, you know, wow, I'm not alone. You know, there are other people out here that are just as silly and goony, and we all have this, you know, this inside of us. Obviously, we were all drawn here.